FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1.
Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
All right, welcome into a Victory Monday edition of the JP Peterson Show. And man, what a win for the Bucs in New Orleans. That was fun to watch. If you were there, boy, it must have been fun to experience, to watch those Saints fans tuck tail and walk outside their own Superdome. That was a beatdown of epic proportions as the Bucs win this one 26-9 and take a stranglehold of the NFC South, starting the first quarter of the season. An epic 3-1 for my taste, and just as good a start as you would hope for, but not a shocking start if you were a loyal listener of this particular show. So welcome into the JP Peterson Show. We appreciate you guys jumping in. Paul Stewart's going to join us, Mr. BuckPower.com, official Bucs historian. Also, we'll be talking and gloating over a European Ryder Cup win. And we'll be hitting the Bucs, NFL, the Rays getting set to take on the Rangers in a bit of a surprise matchup. So lots to get to. I'll say good morning to you, Nick Geddes from On3 Sports. How are you? Lots to get to for the next 2 hours. Looking forward to it.
I'm doing fantastic, JP. It's a Victory Monday. It's a Victory Monday here in good old Tampa Bay. In your case, in Orlando.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I was in Orlando this weekend. I might get to that story later today.
Nice. Yeah, it's okay.
It's a story of heartbreak. I'll just
Oh.
put it. It's a story.
No.
The story of heartbreak.
Worse than your trip to Buffalo?
I can't go that far.
By the way, your audio is a little low. If you want to bring your mic up a little bit, I can hear you a little bit better, and so can everybody else, I believe. Might be better. Or get up on that mic, one of the two.
Yeah, I'll adjust. It's all new
That's
to
better.
me. It's all new to me here, but we'll figure it out.
Nick's running the show from home. We got some new technology we're working on today, so hopefully everything will run smooth. I'm confident. As long as who calls those plays for the Saints? Pete Carmichael? Is that their OC?
Is that his name? Remember, we didn't even know who that guy's name was for the entire time Sean Payton was there.
Bozo might be a better. I don't know what the hell they were thinking, but credit the Buccaneers for coming up with some big plays. So, we'll jump into this. We'll hear from Todd Bowles, Baker Mayfield, and man, there were so many stars of the game yesterday, Nick. I'll zero in on Antoine Winfield, who was just absolutely incredible on so many levels. The punch out right before the half that turns the score from 7-3 to 14-3 at the half was absolutely huge. The cause fumble, the jumped on it himself. 9 tackles, and some big tackles at that. A sack, 2 tackles for losses, a quarterback hit, pass defense, a big one there as well, saved the touchdown. Forced fumble and a fumble recovery. How's that for a game? That will that
Pretty
do?
Good.
Yeah,
pretty good.
Pretty damn good. Antoine Winfield was all over the place. Not only did he play fantastic football, but I thought Baker Mayfield was outstanding. There were so many big third down plays that he made in this game, especially on that game-clinching drive in the fourth quarter. And they had some big drives in this game. But there's a 3rd and 6 to Devin Tompkins, which, by the way, how about Devin Tompkins? This kid that Byron Leftwich couldn't figure out on the slowest freaking offense in the world. This kid's been sitting here for a couple of seasons now. And the kid can, as I've said many, many times, the dude can flat out play. He gets a diving catch for a touchdown, a huge third down when the game was a 1-score game at 17-9, but with a great route and a great catch. He was an integral part, especially with Mike Evans going down, of getting some key third downs. And Baker Mayfield, again, so many times he scrambled out of trouble for the touchdown to Cade Otton. What a play that was. To the touchdown to Devin Tompkins. Tremendous scramble, get open, find a guy with a great throw. The touchdown throw to TP, Trey Palmer, fantastic throw on the fade there. So I thought Baker played a tremendous game and had some key scrambles as well for first downs and a couple of runs that set him up for the Chase McLaughlin field goal. So these are all winning plays. And when I broke down this game, there were so many winning plays that the Bucs made in critical times, and the Saints did not. That's a mark of a veteran team, a savvy team, a tough team, a smart team. Whereas you see the Saints running the ball down the field at will in the third or early fourth quarter. Gonna make this a one-score game again. And then they bring Taysom Hill in to throw the ball instead of just handing it off. At that point, Vita Vea was out of the game. And by the way, the Bucs cannot stop the run without Vita Vea in the game. I mean, it's like night and day, because then the guys get up to the second level. They get their hands on Devin White, who still can't get off a block. It just changed the game. And then they bring Taysom Hill in, take a sack. Now it's 2nd and 14. You're behind the chains. You can't just run it anymore. So I thought I didn't know what the hell their play calling was. And Derek Carr, I don't know if Jameis Winston would have been any better, but he couldn't throw the damn ball down the field, and that was evident. And the Bucs knew it, so they played accordingly. That was just a weird game, and I don't want to take anything away from the Bucs. You go on the road and get a beat down like this, one of the biggest margins of victory in a divisional game, 17 points. I think that was their 5th largest victory in divisional road game. I mean, it was such a thorough win by the Buccaneers. The Saints didn't help themselves. Dennis Allen is just not a good coach. Doesn't know how to run a football team, in my opinion. But hey, that's their problem. The Bucs stepped up, and so many guys contributed. I thought it was just a great team win on so many levels. So you go to the bye now, and hopefully Mike Evans' hamstring can heal over the bye. At 3-1, the Falcons lose yesterday. I don't think you could possibly have painted a scenario, except maybe beating the Eagles, obviously, at 3-1 going to the bye week, and especially the way this team is playing and winning games. If you're a Bucs fan, you have to be thrilled with what you're seeing.
Yeah, I'm certainly not taking anything away from the Bucs. They're 3-1. I mean, you say, like, if you watch this show, you wouldn't have been surprised. I got to be honest, I didn't see 3-1 coming. I thought 2-2 was going to be their fate. I thought you definitely would beat Chicago. Thought Minnesota would be kind of a toss-up. And then I thought you'd lose to the Eagles. And then I thought you'd probably split the season with the Saints, to be honest. But I got to tell you, you mentioned, like, the coaching kind of issues going on with Dennis Allen and Pete Carmichael and what they did there. I got to give credit to Todd Bowles and this coaching staff, because how many times do we come and say, man, Todd Bowles out-coached the other head coach? We haven't said that much during his time here in Tampa Bay, let's be honest. But for 3 of the 4 games, it hasn't been close. I think Todd Bowles has been fantastic. These players love playing for him. That we figured out. Offensively, I don't know if this is a hot take or not. I really don't think it is, because we know the Bucs have had struggles with the Saints. Me and you, we watched every snap that Tom Brady played in a Buccaneer uniform against the New Orleans Saints. I watched every snap that Jameis Winston played for the Buccaneers against the Saints, right? Mm-hmm. I don't recall seeing, I'd have to go back and really look, but at least in the last 4 or 5 years, I don't recall seeing as great of an offensive effort overall from the Bucs against the Saints in at least 4 to 5 years. I didn't see, like, this to me looked more gelled than at any point when we even had Tom Brady going up against the Saints. Like, I thought Dave Canales called a really, really good game. This was the best game he's called, no doubt about it, and he did it against the kryptonite of this team, the team that even Tom Brady struggled against.
A really good Saints defense.
A really good Saints defense that has had the Bucs number, right? And Dave Canales, I mean, we had plays where Chris Godwin is finally running wide open and going for 42 yards. It looked like the Chris Godwin before the ACL. That was a huge play in that game. Baker Mayfield, I tell you what, maybe this is on me for not doing as much research as I thought I did watching Baker. I didn't see it on tape. Like, his escapability in the pocket is got to be one of the best in the entire NFL. I just didn't see this coming. And we talked a lot in the offseason about having a quarterback who can move and everything, and not exactly to go out there and be Lamar Jackson, but for these exact reasons. When the play breaks down, something's not open, pressure caves in eventually after, 4 or 5 seconds of standing there, he's able to move and get first downs, and I just love the little things he does, and those things fire the team up. When he's, putting his body out there, he's taking hits. I mean, he took a cheap shot. Let's be honest.
Cheap shot.
Yesterday.
The Saints, right? You expect
against
this.
the Saints. You expect this, where his body got
Nate
folded,
Shepard,
and I'm like, oh shiz, here we go. I think Baker's not going to be back in this game, but he battles through it. Still made the play, by the way, in the heat of the battle.
What a throw, what a play.
What a throw, what
to
a
make
play
that
call.
to be that observant to see a Kate Otten open in the middle there when you got that kind of heat on you got Cam Jordan around your freaking ankles and you're about to get smoked by another defensive. I mean, that's just an unbelievable play.
I think Baker, honestly, he's playing better than I really expected. I think we thought he'd come in here and we were all just using the whole game manager, don't turn it over. Not only, I mean, he had the throw yesterday, which was probably the right read. It was just a bad throw, and he admitted that. And
it was a terrible throw.
The one in Philly, he just was late to it. Right, couple mistakes there, but for the most part,
had one early on,
right,
over the middle to Cade that should have been picked.
Right, but for the most part, he's done a really good job of taking care of the football, and he's going out there, and he's the main reason why that offense is putting up points. And I just didn't expect that from Baker Mayfield. We thought we were going to get a renewed running effort. We still can't figure that out, and I think this proved that if they really need to pass the ball, I mean, what did they do? 32 times yesterday, he completed 25 passes.
Yeah.
If they can be a little aggressive, like he kind of challenged Dave Canales last week in the press conference, like, let's be aggressive. I can do this. He can do it. So let him rip.
Yeah, I think a big part of their game plan was taking advantage of Mike one-on-one on Lattimore. And when Mike went down, I think that took away. And so great job by Canales going to plan B and C to get first downs with Devin Tompkins and Chris Godwin. I made a notes on a couple of just what I call game-winning plays by Baker. First drive, 3rd and 6. He scrambles out and scrambles for the first down. Those are just huge plays. A third and 7, where he gets a great throw out on a. Well, that was the one where it should have been picked. I'm looking at my notes. I can barely read them. 3rd and 7. Scrambles and gets a great block by Rashad White on the corner to get that first down. Another 3rd and 6. They send 5 in pressure. He falls out and finds Cade Otten for a first down. The back shoulder throw to Devin Tompkins, absolutely fantastic for another first down. I mean, there were so many game-winning plays where he would get out of the pocket on key 3rd down plays and either scramble or find guys. And that was the difference in the game. Carr couldn't do that. And he just could not make those plays in crunch time. He was dumping down everything. Chris Isian was coming up and making good tackles. Devin White made a couple of good tackles in open space, but for the most part, I thought he was very, very subpar again. And he's not a difference maker. Devin White's not a difference maker. He's not a $20 million a year player. As Bucs Basement said here, Winfield and Wirfs contracts before White, and that's just the fact. Sorry, Devin, but aside from week 1, you haven't impressed. Could not agree more. Love the guy. He's just not a difference maker at that level at $20 million. I'd love to keep him as a starter. I'll pay you, 8 to 10 million a year. You can be in the middle of that because he does. I think he provides great leadership. He can make certain plays at times, but I just don't think he's a difference maker. I think you could draft the guy.
I'll say this. I'll never think he was worth 20 million, right? I don't think he ever had it in him to get to that level of play, and I don't think maybe only one linebacker on the face of the earth that could, right? But for the 11 million that he's making this year, which I wasn't even sure if he was worth that, I think I'll tell you through 4 weeks, I think he's played a lot better overall. Maybe he's not the game record that you want to see, maybe that he was during that playoff run, which could have been fool's gold, right? But I think he's settled in and he's becoming steady. Like you mentioned, he can't get off blocks, and of course he's going to have his fits in coverage or whatever, but overall, I don't think he's killing, like he hasn't killed the Bucs yet.
Well, he killed them against the Eagles, but it wasn't just him.
But I think he was playing hurt. I mean, there was no doubt about it. He was playing hurt in that game.
Yeah, and we'll give him credit for that. Yeah.
But no, I've been chanting it for a long time now. We talk about all these guys we need to pay, whether it's Devin White, whether it's Mike Evans, and you make those arguments. But pay Antoine Winfield Jr.
Oh my God, yes. Yeah,
my goodness, because listen, safety is one of those positions that I'm not big on paying a safety a lot, like close to 20 million typically. I'm really not. But Antoine Winfield does so much more than just play like the traditional safety role. And I guess the obvious comparison everybody makes around here is Rondé Barber. Yeah. And I'll be damned if I didn't watch that game yesterday, and that came exactly to mind.
Yeah, versatility.
Yeah, the versatility. He's getting sacks. He's punching out balls, forcing turnovers. The play he made in the end zone to save a touchdown.
Wow.
That was the best play he made all game. And
that's a huge play. That's a 7-point play.
Yeah.
Olave's got 2 steps, and Carr threw a perfect ball. That was the best ball he threw all game. And it's just as Olave's putting up his hands, perfect technique, Winfield puts his arm in there and knocks the ball away. That was just That was perfect. I mean, you could say that Winfield accounted for 14 points at least, maybe 17 points in a 26-point game. I mean,
It was a game record yesterday.
It's hard for a defensive player to have that much of an impact on a game as he did, but he did it. And now that he's back at his position and he's put in these, he's put in the middle of each and every play, man, what a game changer he was. No question about it. Trey Palmer, let's give him a shout out as well for that touchdown catch. He beats his man, goes up and gets that football, high points it, gets his feet down. That's a big play. Zion McCollum, I thought had a really, really good game.
Yeah,
had a couple of really, really good plays.
Nice moment where he broke up that screen in the back to Olave.
That was a great play. Jamel Dean didn't play and didn't really miss him.
Yeah. I said that yesterday, and it ended up like through 35 minutes of that game, Mike Thomas and Chris Olave had combined for one catch.
Yeah.
One catch for like 13 yards, and it was the Michael Thomas out route, right? That was it. And he goes on to have 4 for 53. Chris Olave has his worst game as a pro. One catch for 4 yards. And they did that without Jamel Dean. Ryan Neal gets hurt, concussion on like the third play of the game.
Yep.
So now he's out of action.
D. Delaney, the versatile D. Delaney, all he does is make plays.
Doesn't he remind you of like a Keith Tandy, man?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
He'll just make like very unheralded, but every time he gets in there, doesn't it just feel like he'll make a play?
Yeah, and he'll play corner. You can put him at nickel. You can put him at safety. You can put him anywhere, and he comes up with a play. And thank you, Jameis, for making it a complete day with a pick late in the game.
That was that was funny. I laughed out loud. I love Jameis. We love Jameis, but I laughed out loud. But I mean, what does that tell you though? Like they didn't have the trust in him. I mean, Derek Carr's got an AC joint sprain, which he probably shouldn't have played in that game at all.
I don't think so.
And they still were like, and we think Jameis, could be a top 32 guy still potentially,
Dennis Allen.
But they had no trust in him.
Jameis Winston. Dennis Allen. Like, why is he on your team? Like, seriously, if you're not going to play him this week, why is he on your team?
Remember the last time Jameis started a game was against the Bucs last year in week 2, and Jameis looked like, the Buccaneer version of Jameis, where he was throwing 3 picks. Maybe that's what he was guarding against. He knew Derek wasn't going to be careless with it. And they thought that they could use Kamara, by the way. And listen, they got Kamara involved.
Yeah, oh God, did they ever.
But you know what? It didn't matter. He had 13 catches for 33 yards. One of those was a 10-yard gain. So on everything else, 12 catches for 23 yards for Alvin Kamara. He wasn't really a factor.
And I'm not, again, I don't want to take anything away from the Bucs, but there was a time when Alvin Kamara in the open field was untackleable. He was. Right. He's not that guy anymore. But the Bucs certainly were ready for that. They did a great job. And they did a great job gang tackling, getting guys around the football, did a fantastic job. And one more guy we haven't mentioned who I thought had a fantastic game was Rachaad White. Rachaad White made some plays in the run game. He's starting to bang it in there. There were a couple plays where he was tiptoeing and didn't get to the line in time, missed some reads. But I thought on general, he had some great first down runs. You mentioned Dave Canales. His first down play calling, I wrote this down. The first down runs, 1st and 10, the play action throw outside to Mike Evans for 18 yards. I think they probably averaged almost 8 yards a play on first down because they did so many different things. They ran it a few times up the middle, but the first Rachaad White, they get 4. You get 4 running the football on first down, that's a win. Even you get 3. You get 3 or 4, that's a win. They threw it to Keyshawn Vaughn, who had a couple of nice moments. They threw a nice little jet sweep to Devin Tompkins on first down. Like, look at the varied play calling here. Keyshawn Vaughn up the middle for 5, and they were pulling guards. They weren't just running that zone. They were pulling guys, and there was a variation to the run game. Play action out to Evans for 16 yards. Look at these chunks of nice yards. Little touch pass to Raheem Jarrett that got 3 out of it. So there was a varied Rachaad White for 12, nice cut to the outside. So there were some nice variations of play calling, a lot of passing on first down, and that's what Dave Canales needs to do. We don't need to be even 50-50 run and pass on first down. It probably needs to be 75-25 pass to run because that's what's working for the Buccaneers. And now that can set up your run on second down. So I thought Canales was much better in his play calling on first down.
Well, I mean, the Eagles obviously were going to be a rough matchup. We knew that, but they ran it 12 times on first down in that game for 21 yards or something. Like it was just it looked like Byron Leftwich syndrome all over again. And I guess you see that, you need to get a little bit more varied. You got to get in your bag, I guess, to say. And Dave Canales, again, this is the fourth game calling plays. It's all a work in progress. We knew that, but listen, look what we just said. This is his fourth game calling plays. This is still a work in progress, and they're 3-1. So, I mean, we're trying to be selfish here, but you're 3-1 at the end of the day. And when you play defense like the Bucs did, you give up 9 points, you're going to win 99% of the time. Yeah. I mean, it makes it easy on a coordinator, right? The one player that I thought had an outstanding game yesterday, and I'm going to give him his props here, is Luke Gedeke. I'm ready. I think I'm ready to say it. The Bucs have found their right tackle. I mean, Tristan Wirfs hasn't missed a beat at left tackle, as we probably expected. Yep. But Luke Gedeke, tough matchups, man. Cameron Jordan feasted on the Bucs for years. Even had his moments against Tristan, if we're being honest. Go back, and I'm sure you went back and watched it. Go back and watch the Devin Tompkins touchdown. That play doesn't happen without Luke Gedeke. He had Cam Jordan for about 7-8 seconds just manhandling him. Yep. And allowed them to go off script there, and Tompkins to come back to the football and Baker to stand in the pocket for that long. That was all Luke Gedeke. There's another play where he absolutely pancakes Pete Warner and just keeps him on the ground for 3-4 seconds, allows Baker to sit in the pocket and make a good throw. Luke Gedeke played fantastic yesterday. I think he's been really, really good through 4 games. Really the only guy that I think is struggling right now still is Bob Hainsey. He's getting blown up on most plays. That's the reason why they can't run the ball up the middle, because he's getting blown up in the backfield right off the ball. But from the tackle standpoint, and I think that's the next evolution of this offense I want to see, if you're going to run the ball, let's go to the outside a little bit. These tackles can do it, right? Yeah. So I think that's the next evolution I want to see. But definitely wanted to shout out Luke Gedeke because we had concerns, and I think he's stepping up big time.
Yeah, there were some whiffs in the run game, but for the most part, it was, and you're going to have that against a good front like the Saints have. Like Gedeke missed a reach block, and there was a tackle for loss, but that was a tough ask for him to get across the face of that guy who's in the gap. That's just a tough ask. So I'm going to give him a pass on that. But for the most part, I thought the offensive line did a damn good job. But it's that varied play calling that really, really helps you, And that's what Canellis is helping this offensive line by calling a lot of different things. The run game, there's so many different, lot of motion going on, back and forth, pulling guards, pulling tackles. So, yeah, that was a hell of a job on so many levels. And I got what, because we're going to get to the Rays here real quick before we get to Paul Stewart. But the refs were awful. Sean Hockley's crew, please just go away. Every game that dude refs, they are the most technical, just freaking touch holdings, just terrible calls across their officiating of the game. They're so slow in getting in making calls. They're just terrible. I cannot stand that crew. Please go away. I hope we never get them again, but I'm afraid that we're probably going to get them way too much. They're a 1:00 crew. We got a lot of 1:00 games. That they are a bunch of over officious jerks, to use a great line by Marv Levy. They're terrible. I can't stand them. So I had to get that out there. Please go away. All right, Rays and Rangers. We didn't see this one coming, did we, Nick? And this is about as good. This is a great matchup for the Rays. The Rangers are 18-23 since August. I think they lost 3 of their last 4, backed into the playoffs, blew the division lead to the Astros. Their pitching is not great. They're going to start Jordan Montgomery and Nate Eovaldi. We're throwing a Glasnow and Eflin. We're at home for all 3 games. This is a great matchup. This really, really, I think, went the Rays' way. What do you think?
Absolutely. I think I kept saying, you're not going to win the division, fine, but please, I don't want to play Houston in the first round. I know that eventually you're probably going to have to go through Houston, but let's not do that in the wild card. Right. Not with that experienced team, getting Verlander back, all that. And then Toronto, I think, is a very sticky team for the Rays to kind of deal with, and they can throw Gausman out there, who would be the best pitcher in the entire series. But now you get Texas. Yes, I know their offense can hit a little bit, obviously. Corey Seager, you can make the argument, if it wasn't for Ohtani, that's the MVP of the league. but they haven't played their best baseball down the stretch. The fact that they were fighting for a playoff spot, given the way they started, was pretty alarming, and they choked the division away and allowed Houston to end up getting it. And to your point, listen, Nate Eovaldi had a really good year. Jordan Montgomery has had some really good, nice seasons in the league and all that. And, from my knowledge, I think he's been a Ray killer throughout his career too.
Yeah.
So interesting matchup there. But no, do I like having Glasnow and Eflin over those two guys? Yes, I do. I get the series at home. It's Troptober. Place is going to be crazy. You know how it goes at America's Ballpark. It's going to be a happening. Tomorrow in the Trop. But yes, I think it's a great matchup, and I love their chances in this one. I love their chances to move on.
Yeah, this is as good a matchup as they could hope for, and they're not like last year. They limped into the playoffs. They lost 4 or 5. They couldn't score any runs. They scored 19 runs in the past 2 days. That means something. Jonathan Aranda with a grand slam. You're going to need that left-handed bat.
Caminero hits his first home run, and opposite field, by the way. True power.
So is he on the playoff roster? I think he probably has to be.
I'll just say this right now. Caminero needs to be starting tomorrow. If I see Taylor Walls no. I know Kevin Cash loves him some Taylor Walls.
I know.
No.
And you're going to win this with defense, though. I don't know. I think don't get a little crazy on me here.
I understand.
No, I'm not going to go there.
I need to see Caminero, not Taylor Walls, in the starting lineup.
No, Caminero can be a pinch hitter later in the game, but you got to have your best defense out there. I'm not going there with you. Taylor Walls has got to be out there.
You make it sound like Caminero is some kind of scrub or something defensively. He's not Jonathan Aranda level bat. I want that bat in the lineup. It's starting to heat up a little bit.
I know, but I can't give you shortstop. No, can't do that. Not for a kid that's throw him into playoffs at shortstop no. No, we can't
sound
do that.
Reckless. When you break it down like that, it does sound reckless.
Cannot do that. But what he can have a role. There's no question he can have a role. And everybody, it doesn't matter who starts with the Rays, right? It's who finishes and produce when you're asked to produce in that big spot that Cash is going to put you in. So we'll see. Hopefully he can add something. All right, we got much more on the Bucs coming up. We got to hear from Todd Bowles, Baker Mayfield, Antoine Winfield. So we got tons more coming up on the Bucs. Paul Stewart's going to talk a little Bucs, but we're also going to talk Ryder Cup. What a disappointing performance by the United States, and I lost the bet. That's the only bet I lost this weekend, though. I'm telling you. I was smoking hot on my NFL picks. And we'll be at the patio from 5 to 7 o'clock today, so come on down and join us. Me and Pete will be at the patio to talk some Buccaneers and NFL football from 5 to 7. Brought to you by White Claw, $4 seltzers, $4 White Claw vodka drinks. So come on down and join us. Paul Stewart coming up next from across the pond, rubbing in a European win. I might have been rooting for the Europeans at some point. I don't know. But we'll talk about it when we come back. Quick break. Sitting around the house. Well, the Golden Diamond Source will purchase a variety of different types of coins and bullion. Their gold buying program includes sterling silver, silver, platinum, and watches. They also accept unusual pieces that other jewelry stores do not, such as gold bars and sterling silver flatware. The list of items they do accept is far more extensive than those they don't, so check it out. While you're there, you can check out the largest collection of any family-owned jewelry store in the country, especially with summer coming to an end. The holidays are right around the corner. Never too early to start your holiday shopping, especially if you're planning on getting engaged or have any birthdays or anniversaries coming up. Come on in and find out what buying jewelry should be like with an expert staff of gold and diamond jewelry enthusiasts. And the best part, they treat you like family. And if you're worrying about price, don't. The Golden Diamond Source has something for everyone's budget. They even have a layaway. If you stop in and get your favorite piece now, you can have it paid off by Christmas. Plus, you can even finance your purchase with 0% interest for up to 5 years, and you can get a $5,000 diamond for only $83 a month. It's the greatest folks in the world, Julie and Steve Weintraub, the Golden Diamond Source, 3800 Olmerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com. JP here for my good friends at Italiano Insurance, and they did it again. Once again, Italiano Insurance stepping up with the best customer service. I was in a bind. My old insurance company, my auto insurance, jacked up my rates, so I called Charity. at Italiano Insurance, and she stayed till 9:30 at night until she got my insurance done. And guess what? She searched all these companies for me. I didn't do the work. She did. Saved me $1,000 on my annual premium. $1,000, folks. That's real money. And that's what you get at Italiano Insurance. Great customer service. And here's another note for you, by the way, with hurricane season up. 40% of people in Florida are underinsured. That means if you have something happen during a hurricane and you need replacement cost, you're going to get 40% less than you deserve. Can't let that happen. Call the folks at Italiano Insurance and get them to help you out in both those regards. It will save you money and keep you insured properly. That's 813-877-7799. Great folks in the community, been doing it for over 60 years. Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799. All right. Well, Fitz the mortgage guy did it again. A listener heard his ad, was going to another big bank, but called Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services of Tampa, and Fitz saved him $618 on his monthly payment. Are you kidding me? Folks, that's big money. Rates are going up, they're going down, they're going all over the place. Scott will shop your loan and save you lender fees and get the best rates. Email him, scott@amstampa.com, or call 813-294-7595. That's Fitz the mortgage guy. Lots of stuff going on right now, and these rates are going all over the place. You need somebody knowledgeable in the market that will work hard for you and get you the best deal. That's my man, Scott. He's done 3 loans for me, done thousands of loans for local folks here, works with a lot of the coaches and players in the area. He's the guy. 813-294-7595, or go to scott@amstampa.com.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show with JP.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show on this Victory Monday. The Buccaneers get a big win. The Rays are into the playoffs with a great matchup. But perhaps the most disappointing outcome of this weekend was the American side getting absolutely dispatched by a European side that was much less talented but had a lot more onions than the American side. So we give it up to our good friend Paul Stewart across the pond. I owe you a shirt from the Great Palmacia Country Club, which you will be collecting when you make your voyage across the pond. So congrats to the Euros. They certainly play with a lot more emotion and heart and skill than the American side. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, JP. Yes, good morning, everybody. Good morning, everyone across Florida. Oh, sorry for a minute. I thought I was Patrick Cantlay for a minute. Sorry, let me just put my hat on. Oh, I've got the right cap on, of course, for the baseball starting. I think whenever a team loses the Ryder Cup, there's always this mass investigation into why it happened. And it happens when Europe lost 2 years ago at Whistling Straits. Now, the two sides were very evenly matched in terms of ability, golfing ability. But you and I have talked about this for 20 years on air, that as Americans, you're not used to representing your country in any sport. Whereas over here, we will support our soccer teams. We then go and support England. You know, we'll all get together to watch the England cricket team, the England rugby team. It's in our DNA to be part, to represent our country, which is why you see everyone on the European team so keen to be part of that team, and it means something. And outside of Justin Thomas, possibly Max Homer, there was no one on that American team who seemed to care. And you and I were messaging about it all weekend.
Yeah, I thought, Patrick Cantlay certainly showed some stones on late on Saturday with 3 straight birdies, but he was at the heart of the whole controversy, the hat gate. And say, he didn't want to wear the hat because he wasn't getting paid. And then when asked about it, he said the hat didn't fit. Can you imagine that? Like the hat maker couldn't custom make him a hat for that big old stupid head. I mean,
JP,
come on.
You and I have been in the sports media business for so many years since Nick was in diapers. It's that long we've been in the business. You and I can both smell a BS press release a mile away, and that one stunk.
And I watch, I've done sideline reporting, I've done post-game reporting. And, the question was asked, by Steve Sands, I believe it was. But when you get that answer, can we not just challenge anybody? Can we not challenge anybody? Can we not say, Patrick, the hat maker could not at the Ryder Cup could not get a hat to fit your head? Is that what you're telling me? That's the reason? I mean, can we not just follow up and just ask the question? Like, everybody knows why you didn't wear the hat. Now, they kind of turned it, it was such an American thing, right? Money grubbing individualists, that we turned that into a rallying cry, like with the no hat, and the no hat celebrations, whatever, right? It finally got something to get these guys going. But come on, man. What an embarrassment. What an embarrassment.
Did you catch, by the way, that Cantlay is getting married today in Rome as well, on top of all this?
No, I
well,
didn't.
It's about time he
some
was
people
part
are-
of the partnership because he certainly didn't do
some
it any
people-
other time.
Right. But
Yeah,
some
I mean,
people were
just to
like,
say, going on
did he not want to mess up the
Cantlay, on
hair?
emotion
Like,
just going on the emotion Cantlay showed, JP, that was him as an individual player. That's the sort of thing he would show if he's coming down the stretch in a tour event or a major. He's showing that emotion. He's not doing it because he's part of a team. Now, the reason the Americans lost on the course was the foursomes. They were beaten 4-0 in the first round of foursomes, 3-1 in the second round. That's a 6-point difference. The final margin was 5. So you can see where it happened. And that first morning, the Americans came out so flat, and it needed Justin Thomas at the start of the four balls to show some emotion. And there was no complaints about now why he was picked to be part of that team. But you look down the whole European team, it's full of people playing with emotion.
Yeah.
You've got Justin Rose, the veteran, leading from the front, bringing the youngsters along. You saw Hovland turning into the superstar he's going to be. And John Rahm, would you really want to go up against John Rahm? Scheffler did well just to get a half against the guy. That was one of the matches of all time.
Yeah. Yeah, I was a little disappointed in Scheffler, though. You're one up on 18. I want a hole you can easily reach into. And then the third shot, he gets it up and down. They get a full point. I think everything changes. Like then the pressure really is squarely on the Europeans. Then they're thinking, oh my God, how are we can't choke this away. It's a totally different dynamic. And Scheffler hits what I thought was just a really poor chip. I mean, I could see him missing a 3-footer because he's a horrible putter, but that chip was just awful. Come on. You just got one up and down to win your club championship. It was probably harder than that chip. Am I wrong?
It was a league trophy. It came down to my match, and I made an up and down that they're going to talk about. Well, I'm going to talk about at our club for many years to come. And when it comes to 3-foot putts, JP, I'm going to make you hold one or two of those when we play our game in due course. But what I will say is the pressure these guys are under is like nothing that a major can prepare them for. And I remember talking with Graham McDowell back in 2010 at Celtic Manor. It came down to his match. And he was walking along, and one of the other players, I think it was Justin Rose, actually said to him, Graham, you've just won a US Open at Pebble Beach. You're ready for this. And he looked at Rose and just went, that's like a club medal compared to this. Is like, because I'm not playing for myself. I'm playing for the whole continent. So I can understand the pressure these players are under. And I won't beat anyone up for not hitting a great shot in that situation. And coming into 18 at the Simone Golf Club, it's a straight downhill par 5. You're playing 280 off a downhill lie with water all down the left. The bailout shot is right. And to be honest, the only person who really nailed a second shot onto that green was Rahm on the first day when he made eagle to save that match.
Yeah, but I didn't have a problem with the second shot. It's the third shot. You got plenty of green to work with. I don't know. I thought you can make a better shot there. And Rahm, gets the tap in birdie, damn near eagled it. That was huge. And then, I think the biggest difference is it's just the Americans don't care as much as the Europeans. And it showed in the preparation. Most of the Americans took 5 weeks off, 4 or 5 weeks off because they didn't want to play in these lesser tournaments over here. And meanwhile, the European team is grinding, 7 of their players finish in the top 10 of the European event. And the Americans could have come over and played European events. They could have come over a week early. Instead they came over 3 days. It's like, are you even bothered? Are you even bothered to do this? I mean, if you're going to play, freaking make a commitment and play. So, I mean, so and I'm hearing like, oh, Spieth and Brooks Koepka, they had children. Did they birth the children? Did they come out of their womb? No. Get out there and freaking practice. Let's go.
And by the
Let's
way,
get ready for this.
And I mean, you mentioned Koepka. How lethargic did
Oh
he
my
look
God.
the entire? I mean, that guy gets a lot of heat, and I kind of defend him sometimes. But like again, the passion part of it—that's
Couldn't
what
care
sucks.
less.
And it's like that, honestly. Like I feel like with a lot of sports that represent USA, because like Paul said, it's just different over there.
Yeah.
It really is. And it was like a little thing that I noticed when guys are being introduced on the tee box at 1. You got guys in the Team Europe, and they're not even from the same country as some of them. And they're like, they got an arm on each other when they're being announced, something that small. And then they go to the Americans, and they're just standing there both with these looks on their faces like, I really want to be playing on my own, which is why it didn't surprise me that their best performance of the weekend came when they finally got the singles. Like, that just kind of epitomized it to me. But, yeah, the lack of passion sucked in that game. And then to start, the 4 balls in the first day, and, I know how this thing goes. When your team wins, you're the best captain ever. When they lose, you're the worst captain ever.
Oh,
but to
God.
leave 11 major championships on the bench to start, I mean, a lot of rookies went out right away there in that first 4 balls and then got blasted.
Yeah.
Silly. Yeah, what you've got to understand, Nick, is foursomes golf, where you play alternate shots, is a very different format to 4-ball, where you're really you're playing your own ball, and it's almost like you've got a safety net behind you. And I've played a lot of foursomes golf, and it is a very difficult game. But just coming back to the whole team thing, I used to run a team for my club where it was a scratch team, 5 individual players, and we always had all 5 of us are on the first tee when the first guy goes off. All 5 of us. Everyone's on the last green waiting for the last guy to come in. You go out as a team, you finish as a team. And that was something we were always proud of, that, you always knew your players had their back. And yeah, you're right. The Americans all had an invitation to play the European PGA at Wentworth 2 weeks ago. None of them took it up. And would any of them go into a major championship taking a month off before Augusta? No, of course they wouldn't. So... But one thing I will say is in 2 years' time, the Ryder Cup is at Bethpage Black in New York. Now, they've had 3 major championships there, 2 US Opens and a PGA. And the 3 of them were all complete zoos with 30,000 people screaming at individual players. What the heck is it going to be like at a team event? I can actually see it being the end of the Ryder Cup because it will get completely out of control. It'll be Brookline on steroids.
Yeah, I have some reservations about that as well. But if that's what it takes to get the United States to get going, and they've done well on home soil recently. They dominated at Whistling Straits, so we'll see. But to me, it's also a microcosm of where our country is at right now. It's just a bunch of individualistic people trying to get their money, don't care about community, don't care about the other guy, don't care about representing your country. It means nothing to you. Can't even get out of bed, 3 weeks before to start preparing. It's just where we're at. We don't win anything anymore. We don't care about it anymore. It's such a sad state of affairs with this country's at right now. It's embarrassing. And I think our team went out there and embarrassed themselves. And they deserve it. And they deserve all. And Zach Johnson, oh my God. How could that guy get anybody fired up for anything? Are you kidding me? And then his interviews were so bad. I mean, this guy's your leader. No wonder you're getting just absolutely boat raced. He was embarrassing. He's an embarrassment.
Tell you what, JP, let's segue it from the Ryder Cup. Let's turn to important things like the Rays and the Bucs. That's much better. Which one should we start on? Because I've got both.
Let's start with the Bucs.
Right now.
Let's start with the Bucs because as the unofficial official historian of the Buccaneers, I don't want this moment to go by. A 17-point divisional win over the Saints. Yep. That's historic. That rarely happens. So that was a beatdown by the Buccaneers. Your thoughts?
Yeah, so since we went to the NFC South Division in 2002, it is the 5th time we've had a 17-point road victory. We've twice done it to the Falcons, twice done it to the Panthers. We've never done it to the Saints. We actually beat them twice by those margins on our first 2 games ever in New Orleans back in the early days. To me, yesterday, that was a victory for Todd Bowles and the defensive scheme because I've never seen a Bowles defense blitz so infrequently. They went to a zone defense, and the reason Carr was dumping it off to Kamara, like you said, Nick, 13 receptions, that ties the second most ever for a player against the Buccaneers, but for 33 yards, because there was nowhere to go downfield, and you never saw it on the coverage because they were clamping down. So yes, Antoine Winfield got the credits because he made splash plays, but you've got to take into account how good was Carlton Davis, how good was Ezian, how good was Delaney, because they were blanketing the receivers downfield. There was nowhere to go, and of course, Carr didn't have the arm to make anything happen. So give credit to Todd Bowles. He's the instigator of the reason the Bucs are 3-1 right now.
Yeah, I think you got to give Bowles a lot of credit. He's coaching so much better than he did and managing these games so much better than he did last year. His defense is very, very in tune with what he wants him to do. He's getting them to play through injuries. I thought just early on he was blitzing, and in third down I think he came with blitzes. I think four out of the first 5 times, and with great success. And then he switched up. His adjustments in game have been absolutely fantastic this year, offensively and defensively.
Yeah, what I will say about the scheme changes is the reason he's able to coach differently. He no longer has the elephant in the room. Sorry, the goat in the room. So he's now the leader of the team. If you went back to last year, who was the leader of the franchise? It wasn't the head coach. It was Tom Brady. He's no longer there.
Absolutely.
So that has now got a chance. It's addition by subtraction. And this whole new thing of having a quarterback who can get out of the pocket, this is amazing.
Wow.
I never knew this.
Wow. And how many times did he make positive plays out of the pocket? I would say probably 6 to 8 times. And those were game-winning plays. Most of them were on third down. 2 of them were for touchdowns. That's that's game-winning football right there.
It is. It's absolutely fantastic. You'll be telling me next the Seminoles are undefeated, JP.
As a matter of fact, yeah.
Good segue there. Good professional segue.
And the Gators are not. By the way, they're decidedly not.
I did notice the highlights that they were like the Roadrunner and the Wally. They were like Wally Coyote with his Acme shirt on, having been flattened on a highway. From what I saw in that Kentucky game, but it's good to see the Seminoles winning. As I said, you've got to keep winning because once we teared up at Palmacia in November, there's going to be quite a bit of banter. And I'm still not giving you any shots.
Yeah. Oh, yes, you are. We go by official handicaps here, my friend, and you will be giving me strokes. There's no doubt about that. Although I played a little bit yesterday, I got to give a shout out to my my man John Farrell yesterday, an old fraternity brother of mine who was playing against his brother, who's a 4 handicap. John's a loose 18 handicap, probably closer to a 22. And he took him for some serious cash yesterday with some incredible shots. When a 22 is taken down to 4, as you know, and it's your brother, it was a historic day. So I got to give him a shout out. All right. So real quick on the Rays, great matchup here. I wasn't very keen on the Rays heading into the playoffs. I don't think they have enough horses to make a deep run, but I think they got very fortunate with this first round matchup. The Rangers aren't anything special. They're limping into the playoffs, kind of like the Rays did last year. So I like this first round matchup. I don't know how much further they can go, but at least this round, it's a good matchup. What are your thoughts?
Well, do you know, the very first thing I looked at was that it's a 3 o'clock Eastern time, which means 8 o'clock for me, which means I can watch all the 3 games live. I don't have to watch them overnight because my starting thing this morning was to watch last night's game against Toronto because of the time difference. So, I mean, if the Rangers still had Charlie Huff and Nolan Ryan pitching for them, I'd be a bit more worried, but they haven't. And like you say, the Rays have got the horses in the first round. If you could put the Rays that are on the injured list out on the field, they would be the favourites of the World Series because they'd have the pitching to do it. Look, they've done fantastically well. 3rd or 4th best record in all of the major leagues, 2nd best record in the American League. The Yankees are so far behind them, it's not even consideration anymore, which is why they're at home watching. Look, Kevin Cash and the Rays and the whole front office have done an incredible job. Anything now with the team they're putting out on the field is gravy. So, get through the first round, see how it goes. But right now, like you say, we're going to pack the Great American Ballpark. We're all going to be putting money in the pockets of your favourite owner, JP. But we've got the Rays cap on. Let's go do it.
You had to do it, didn't you? You had to say that, right? You had to.
I'm sorry, I couldn't resist it.
Ruined my day. Ruined my freaking day.
It was a putt so close, Ricky Fowler would have conceded it, JP.
All right, Paul. Tell folks how they can get your great website and all your content.
Well, they can reach me. Buckpower.com is the website. Every player, every game, everything Bucks. We do daily updates on what's happened in Bucks history. Today's the anniversary of the first punt return in Buccaneer history, Vernon Turner. And I was talking with Vernon only a couple of hours ago because he's got a book out I'm going to be doing some work with him on. So, yeah, come and find me on social media. And I will see everyone for the Tennessee game in a few weeks' time. Looking forward to it.
Yep.
And it's a large size, please, JP.
Yeah, I got you. We're heading to the sale rack tomorrow. Don't worry. All right, thanks, Paul.
Take care, guys.
Yeah, we're definitely going to the 50% off rack for that. But they're fine shirts. They're very fine shirts. All right, we'll take another quick break here. Come back on the other side. We will hear from Todd Bowles after a victorious trip to New Orleans. They don't happen very often, but this has been fun. They've now beaten the Saints 3 consecutive times in the regular season. That hasn't happened in a long, long time. Quick break. Don't forget, we'll be at the patio tonight. Peter Blake and myself will be there from 5 to 7 o'clock. Please stop on by. We'll have some Rays T-shirts for you, Boat Parade or Bus T-shirts. So come on by and grab one of those. And we'll have our fan mic out so you can talk about the Bucs game or whatever you want to talk about from 5 to 7 o'clock at the patio today, 421 South McDill. Great place to watch Monday Night Football as well, or any football games. It's the patio where everybody meets. Stay with us.
Coins sitting around the house? Well, the Golden Diamond Source will purchase a variety of different types of coins and bullion. Their gold buying program includes sterling silver, silver, platinum, and watches. They also accept unusual pieces that other jewelry stores do not, such as gold bars and sterling silver flatware. The list of items they do accept is far more extensive than those they don't, so check it out. While you're there, you can check out the largest collection of any family-owned jewelry store in the country, especially with summer coming to an end. The holidays are right around the corner. Never too early to start your holiday shopping, especially if you're planning on getting engaged or have any birthdays or a sharp decline as well. So do something about it. Go see my friend Christopher Lugo at Bay Area Modern Medicine. Look, testosterone replacement is not a frivolous treatment. It takes a professional, targeted approach that focuses on total body wellness, vitality, and emotional stability, not a one-size-fits-all approach like many clinics use. They will monitor your blood work and adjust your treatment as needed for optimal results. Folks, I've been on testosterone therapy for over 6 years, and it is a life changer. You will feel and look better than you did 10 years ago. Give them a call at 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Tell them JP sent you for priority scheduling. That's 844-977-3477 or BAMMC.com. JP here for the Jeeves Law Group, Jeeves. Call for a free case evaluation, 888-9-JEEVES. That's 888-9-JEEVES. We're local, we're trusted. The law firm brings over 80 years of combined legal experience focusing on clients in Tampa Bay, the state of Florida, and national class action cases. If you're injured, get that free case evaluation, no cost to you. The Jeeves Law Group's focus is on auto, truck, and motorcycle accidents, as well as class action and consumer protection law. Scott Jeeves is a board-certified civil trial lawyer and a certified circuit court mediator practicing in the Tampa Bay area for over 30 years. You hear him on the show all the time. Great guy, big Gator fan, and great for the community. The G's Law Group is a highly skilled team with years of experience that will apply their skills, expertise, and knowledge to assist individuals who have been in an accident with compensation for damages, lost wages, medical expenses, pain and suffering, and property damage. Get that free case evaluation, 888-9-GEEVES. That's 888-9-JEEVES.
Coming back at you. Now, more with JP on FanStream Sports. It's only just begun.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show as we roll through this Victory Monday. Fantastic win by the Buccaneers, 26-9 in New Orleans. Nick Edis from On3.com joining me here. Here are a couple of post-game notes that were very, very interesting from the Bucs PR department. Antoine Winfield Jr. forced and recovered a Saints fumble. Through Sunday's 1 p.m. game, Winfield joined Steelers offensive line outside linebacker T.J. Watt as the only players in the NFL with multiple forced fumbles and multiple fumble recoveries this season. He's also the only player in the league with multiple games with at least one sack, forced fumble, and fumble recovery. How about that? He has 2 career games with at least one sack, forced fumble, and fumble recovery, are the most by any defensive back and tied with the most by any player since 2020. And the total line that he had there, the 9 tackles, the forced fumble. Let me find this note here. He's the first one to do that since Bobby Wagner in 2018. So 5 years in the NFL, he's the first one with a forced fumble, fumble recovery, a sack in the same game. A quarterback hit and a pass defense. First one to do it since 2018. So that's a pretty good day by Antoine Winfield, I would say.
Yeah, DPOI, Defensive Player of the Year, potentially. He's in the running. He's in the running.
Certainly of the week. Certainly of the week.
He probably should get it of the week, that's for sure. But yeah, he's that moving him back to safety definitely was a big help. And you mentioned some little notes there. I love going through. Greg Allman always has the best notes after the game. Yeah, and you see these little kind of factoids and stats and all that. And the Bucs through 4 games. I didn't know this. They're second in the league in turnover differential, just behind the Cowboys. Everybody else in the NFC South is in the negative, right? I mean, we talked about that, winning the turnover battle and doing that. I think this Bucs defense is they're very opportunistic right now.
Yeah,
very
really
opportunistic right now, and that's helping a lot. And then I believe that there was a streak of 11 straight games, too, where the Saints had scored 20 points or more, I want to say, and that came to an end. Obviously, couldn't even get into the end zone, so that was good from this Bucs defense. I mean, just so many great things that came out of yesterday's game.
Here's a bunch of these factoids, and these are from Bucs PR. Bucs were the first team to score more than 20 points against New Orleans since the Ravens on November 7th of last year. So I think that's about an 8-game span. The 26-9 win advances the Bucs to 3-1. They take control of first place. Dating back to week 4 of 2021, Tampa Bay has held at least a share of the division lead in 36 of the last 37 weeks. Take that, Saints fans. A 17-point win, 3rd largest win over New Orleans in franchise history, and tied for the 6th largest margin of victory in a divisional road win. These are not easy to do. First divisional outing for Baker Mayfield, 25 of 32 for 246, 3 touchdowns and a pick. That's a 116.9 passer rating. That's the 3rd career 3-touchdown performance for Mayfield in his first with Tampa Bay. Mayfield ranks tied for 6th in the NFL with 7 touchdown passes this season. How about that? What other little nuggets do we have in here?
I found the other one that I was trying to find, by the way. That this was the 64th time the Bucs and the Saints have played ever. Regular season playoffs. 197 yards of total offense for New Orleans is the lowest that the Bucs have ever held them to.
Wow.
64 times. This was the best defensive showing the Bucs have ever had against the Saints. Shout out Todd Bowles.
By the way, Rashad White had 56 yards rushing, and Tampa Bay had 114 versus New Orleans. That's a lot against the Saints defense, especially on the road. So a lot of great numbers coming out of this win. And we talked a lot about the individual plays and the game-winning plays. So many of these, and we talked about this last year's team was so dysfunctional. The play calling, terrible, obviously. I thought the leadership was just not there last year as well, just because of everything that was going on with Brady, and everybody deferred to Brady, and he wasn't into it. So even though they swept the Saints last year, this was just a different type of football game, and Baker making plays on the run all over the place it's really making a difference.
It just feels. By the way, just not to cut you off, but it just feels really good because, when you have Tom Brady and you have some of the teams that the Bucs had over the last 3 years, you went into every Sunday and everybody expected you to win, right?
Yep.
And that's fun, but there's something about when everybody is doubting you and you had to listen to 8 months worth of offseason talk of the NFC South is going to be contested between the Saints, Panthers, and the Falcons, and the Bucs weren't even mentioned.
Yeah.
Everybody put them out for dead. And then to stand here today, and I don't know if the Panthers are going to win a football game anytime soon.
No.
The Falcons have maybe the worst starting quarterback in the league right now in Desmond Ridder. They're not going to win too many more football games because they can't play from behind.
Yep.
And the Saints, I just saw the Bucs just whoop them in their place, right? The Bucs are the undisputed best team in the NFC South. Frankly, right now, it's not close. Now, do I think the Bucs are the Bucs as good as the Eagles? Clearly not. Are they the 49ers? Are they the Cowboys?
No,
are they in that tier?
No.
No. But you know what?
That's okay.
From what I've seen, they're probably somewhere in that 8 to 12 tier at the moment. And that, to me, is a huge, huge win. And it's all about winning this division. And you've put yourself in a great position, 64% chance to get into the postseason historically when you start 3-1.
Oh, good number there. Did not know that one. Excellent number right there. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to I'm not shocked that the team is 3-1. I'm pleasantly surprised. 2-2, I was thinking, but 3-1 just shows me that there's so many intangibles that this team is playing with. They're playing good team football. The kicking game, Chase McLaughlin makes another 50-yard kick.
Yes.
That's a big deal. That's a really, really big deal. That's a weapon. And he's the most accurate kicker over 50 yards in the NFL. I mean, he's been tremendous. What is he, 17 of 21 in his career? Let me get this number absolutely correct here. Chase McLaughlin's 51-yard field goal brings his total to 19 of 23 on 50-plus yard field goal attempts. He finished 2 of 2 on field goals, 2 of 2 on extra points. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, they haven't had to call on him much, but in the moments that he's been there, he's been so dependable. What's the only thing he missed was a block, right?
Yeah,
That's it.
That's the only one was blocked. All right, let's listen to Todd Bowles, who's done a great job with this football team post-game yesterday in New Orleans.
Oh, there we go.
Can we hear him? No, I'm not hearing him.
There, you got him here.
Yeah, we didn't play well on Monday night, wanted to come back and redeem ourselves, and a lot of guys stepped up from injured guys. A lot of injured guys played, and they played well as a group and as a team. I thought it was a great team win for us.
On offense, first pass play of the game went to Mike Evans. Unfortunately, he left after those 3 catches with injury. Do you have any updates on the hamstring injury?
Not yet. He's just tweaked it right now. I'll see how serious it is or isn't once we get out of here and once they run some more tests on it. So I thought the guys that came in stepped up. Tompkins and Trey, Jarrett, all them guys really stepped up and stood in there.
Baker said earlier this week that he felt like the offense needed to be more aggressive. You guys threw on first down. It seemed like a lot more than maybe you had previously. Was that kind of the idea behind that?
We wanted to be a lot more aggressive. We're trying to take what they gave us. If they crowded for the run, we threw it. If they tried to take away the pass, we kind of ran it. So it's a good balanced attack.
Did you spend much time worrying about which quarterback was going to play with the Saints? It doesn't look like it.
No, because the scheme is the scheme. They both can throw the ball pretty well. We kind of knew what the offense was with Kamara coming back. Very talented group over there. We know we have to see him again.
Especially with the injuries you dealt with, what does it mean to be 3-1 going into the break? Can have some positive momentum going into a week off here?
It's great to come back with a win. Again, it's only the first quarter of the season. 3-1 is good. We'll be better than 1-3. Got to get some guys nursed up. Got to scheme some things out and iron some things out there. But we're morphing into a kind of a physical, tough team that's hard to beat, and we just got to continue that without the mistakes.
You knew that you're going to be facing one of the premier defenses in the NFL this week. Just what can you say about your quarterback, Baker Mayfield, what he was able to do today?
Tough. He made some throws, long ones and short ones. He made some throws. He stayed away from sacks for the most part. Almost gave away a pick, but he came in complete, so we didn't count that one. But he played a heck of a ball game. You know, Bake's tough. He fits in here. He understands the offense very well. The guys love to play for him, and he works for us.
How concerned were you when he got bent back? Were you concerned about that hit that he took early in the game?
Well, you're always concerned when your quarterback gets hit. He's tough. He got up and he fought it out. Got 2 weeks. Hopefully he can heal up, and a lot of other guys too.
There were a lot of penalties today. How would you kind of characterize those, and just kind of, I guess, your thoughts on those? Is that something you guys need to clean up?
Definitely, always too much for our liking, but they fought. We weren't going to play a perfect game. There were some penalties that happened that they called that we can't do nothing about, but we can get better at that going forward.
Composure is something that's been, at times has kind of gotten both sides, both teams in this matchup. Just what can you say about the way your guys were able to kind of keep focused and avoid some of the extracurricular stuff?
I thought the older guys did a great job all week trying to keep things under wraps. Tristan's not old, but he is a vet and has played down here along with Levante, Devin, Baker, Mike, Chris. A ton of guys did a lot of good things. Not have the young guys worrying about making mistakes and looking back. We made a mistake. We played full speed. They played through them, and we came out on top.
Okay.
There's Todd Bowles, victory Monday, post-game there. By the way, here's some other numbers. Quarterback efficiency, EPA per play through week 4. Brock Purdy, Tua, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Russell Wilson, Baker Mayfield, sitting there in the 6th spot, ahead of Dak Prescott, Justin Herbert, Geno Smith, Jared Goff, Matthew Stafford, Lamar Jackson. So yeah, he's doing pretty well. He's doing pretty well.
That's what I'm saying. He's like exceeded my expectations. He's playing at a top 10 level right now in the NFL. I think we were just asking like Baker, can you be I think we were like, can Baker be the 16th best quarterback in the league this year? Would have been great, right? But he's playing at a top 10 level. I hope it continues. Like, you have to keep building off of this. You get an early bye week, by the way, before you come back home, and you get a really good team against Detroit. So you get 2 weeks to prepare against one of the better teams left on your schedule, which I think is huge, at 3-1, and let these other teams, again, in the NFC South, just try to figure it out. I mean, the Bucs are not perfect. We know that, and that's the thing. You're 3-1, and this was the closest they've played to a complimentary game so far this season. I mean, if I'm looking for things that I think still need to get better, and I think you would agree with this, I thought the pass rush is still very just – there's like long stretches throughout the game where the pass rush just disappears. And I thought, they had a left tackle in Pennig who's not really good. He's been awful all season. I thought they could have taken advantage of him. That didn't happen. Derek Carr, obviously a little gimpy with the shoulder. Get some pressure on him. Didn't really happen that much. I still need to see more from like JTS. Great game against Chicago, and then he follows it up with he was just a bus rider yesterday, essentially. Shaq Barrett nowhere to be seen yesterday. I thought Yaya Diaby actually had some pretty good rushes. He did get double teamed.
Yep.
But outside of that, I think the pass rush has got to improve. I think if I'm looking at one thing defensively, at least.
Yeah, when they brought pressure early on, I thought that when they're bringing 4 and 5, bringing 5 and 6 a couple of different times, they got some pressure. I think Todd was just like, "Hey, we got the lead. We're going to sit back. We're going to play cover 2 shell, rally up. We'll let Derek just dump it down, and we'll take our chances in the red zone." And it worked. Again, New Orleans started to run the ball there in the third and fourth quarter, and they went away from it, which I just boggles the mind. There are times when, especially when Vita Vea is not in the game, that the Bucs get steamrolled up front. So I think they're vulnerable. In their pass rush needs to be better, and I think their run defense needs to be better when Vita Vea is not in there. And even when he is in there, even the Eagles certainly took advantage of it. So no, this team is far from perfect. They're going to need Mike Evans. Mike Evans cannot have a prolonged stint on the injured list. I don't know. This hamstrings have always been an issue, which once again, folks, is why you don't break the bank for Mike Evans. We love him. He's awesome. but the team comes first. You cannot guarantee $75, $85 million to a 30, 31-year-old receiver with a history of hamstring issues. See Cooper Kupp. It's just not, it's not a good investment. As much as we love Mike, it's not a great investment. All right, let's take a quick break. And then when we come back, we'll hear from Baker Mayfield. I love his humility. Absolutely love his humility. And we'll hear it again in his post-game comments. Come on out to the patio tonight. We'll be there 5 to 7, Peter, Blake, and I. So come join us. We'll have our fan mic out if you want to chat about the Buccaneers or any other things. We're going to get to some college football here in just a little bit as well. So stay with us. Quick break. We'll be at the patio tonight, 5 to 7 o'clock, brought to you by White Claw. Back in 3.
Fitz the mortgage guy did it again. A listener heard his ad, was going to another big bank, but called Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services of Tampa, and Fitz saved him $618 on his monthly payment. Are you kidding me? Folks, that's big money. Rates are going up, they're going down, they're going all over the place. Scott will shop your loan and save you lender fees and get the best rates. Email him, scott@amstampa.com, or call 813-294-7595. That's Fitz the mortgage guy. Lots of stuff going on right now, and these rates are going all over the place. You need somebody knowledgeable in the market that will work hard for you and get you the best deal. That's my man Scott. He's done 3 loans for me, done thousands of loans for local folks here, works with a lot of the coaches and players in the area. He's the guy. 813-294-7595, or go to scott@amstampa.com. Have any old coins sitting around the house? Well, the Golden Diamond Source will purchase a variety of different types of coins and bullion. Their gold buying program includes sterling silver, silver, platinum, and watches. They also accept unusual pieces that other jewelry stores do not, such as gold bars and sterling silver flatware. The list of items they do accept is far more extensive than those they don't, so check it out. While you're there, you can check out the largest collection of any family-owned jewelry store in the country, especially with summer coming to an end. The holidays are right around the corner. Never too early to start your holiday shopping, especially if you're planning on getting engaged or have any birthdays or anniversaries coming up. Come on in and find out what buying jewelry should be like with an expert staff of gold and diamond jewelry enthusiasts. And the best part, they treat you like family. And if you're worrying about price, don't. The Golden Diamond Source has something for everyone's budget. They even have a layaway. If you stop in and get your favorite piece now, you can have it paid off by Christmas. Plus, you can even finance your purchase with 0% interest for up to 5 years. And you can get a $5,000 diamond for only $83 a month. It's the greatest folks in the world, Julie and Steve Weintraub, the Golden Diamond Source, 3800 Olmerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com.
JP here for my good friends at Italiano Insurance, and they did it again. Once again, Italiano Insurance stepping up with the best customer service. I was in a bind. My old insurance company, my auto insurance, jacked up my rates, so I called Charity at Italiano Insurance, and she stayed till 9:30 at night until she got my insurance done. And guess what? She searched all these companies for me. I didn't do the work. She did. Saved me $1,000 on my annual premium. $1,000, folks. That's real money. And that's what you get at Italiano Insurance. Great customer service. And here's another note for you, by the way, with hurricane season up. 40% of people in Florida are underinsured. That means if you have something happen during a hurricane and you need replacement costs, you're going to get 40% less than you deserve. Can't let that happen. Call the folks at Italiano Insurance and get them to help you out in both those regards. They will save you money and keep you insured properly. That's 813-877-7799. Great folks in the community, been doing it for over 60 years. Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799.
Pure sports. JP is back on.
Welcome back.
FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show here as we roll on this Victory Monday. We're going to get to some college football, a little bit more Rays talk here. Wanted to get to some of our great commenters as well before we get to Baker. And this one really kind of hit hard here. Yeah, Kalijah Cansey's played 10 snaps. This team's 3-1. Your first-round pick has played 10 snaps, and he's going to be, talk about pass rush and run defense, he's going to be a difference maker. I firmly believe that. And I think the Bucs have kind of rolled the dice a little bit and said, you know what? Let's not mess around with this calf injury. Let's just get him past the bye, and then he'll be back and ready to go. So that's a huge plus.
Well,
not having to
think about who's playing in there instead of him right now. It's Mike Green.
Oh, by the way, what a horrible roughing the passer call yesterday.
Right. Mike Green is what he is. So, yes, it'll help when they get Cansey back for sure.
Bucs Live. This team is opportunistic, disciplined, and people still want to fire Bowles. Listen, I was probably one of the biggest Bowles critics over the offseason, respectfully, but I just wanted to see him step up and coach better, and he has. And I'm more pleased about that than anything. Todd Bowles is playing his way, coaching his way into another contract. The way this team has reacted to him, his defensive schemes. You're 3-1. Your team is motivated. They're playing hard. I mean, how do you have a problem with Todd Bowles at this point?
Right, and I love the little clips they show us now, like in the locker room, of him getting like really hype, and now they all do the whole thing. That I don't think we saw those clips last year from Todd Bowles in the locker room, but they're putting it out there. And maybe that's by design, so everybody can see, like, for everybody that keeps saying the guy's got no emotion, and he tells that to the media all the time. Just because you see what I am here doesn't mean you know what I am behind the scenes. But yeah, he's proved both of us wrong and a lot of people wrong. There should be no discussions about his job at the moment. None.
My man James, look at this. I love Brady. Boy, he does love him some Brady. But no way we win yesterday if he was quarterback. No way we sustained drives. Brady would have thrown 7 to 10 balls in the dirt. Mayfield was the difference on offense. You are correct, sir. Coming around to the dark side.
Ding, ding.
Well done. Yeah. Yes, Gedeke has improved, but let's slow down on saying Bucs have found their right tackle. I agree with you, James, here, Mr. Geddes.
I'm excited. I'm just a little excited about Luke Gedeke. I got to be honest.
I haven't broken down. Like, I watched a lot of the tape, and there were a couple of moments that weren't great, but again,
he's a lot better than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a bloodbath like most weeks, and it hasn't even been close.
Jumping in here real quick from Lonnie Wilkins, Bucs look great, and time to raise the F up, boys. That's right. Bats look good at the right time. I'm drinking the orange Kool-Aid. Look, the Rays are definitely, their offense is getting hot at the right time. I know it's against the Blue Jays pitching, but that stuff's contagious. And you want to score 19 runs the last couple of days. Let's go. Here's an interesting one from San Antogato. Is Derek Carr washed up, or was it just his injury? I mean, there's, our man Harry the Greek's talking about, a lot of people feel like Carr's arm is damaged goods. And don't forget, the Saints are tied to him for 3 years, guaranteed.
Let me tell you the story of Derek Carr. Derek Carr had one amazing season in 2015. Since then, he has been a middle-of-the-road quarterback who had like one playoff appearance. Not the greatest circumstances in Las Vegas, but from a talent perspective, Derek Carr is not a top 10 talent in the league. He certainly was paid like it, and this is the same quarterback who got benched last year against the Raiders because he was playing horrible. Yep. And I was supposed to just expect, because he got $40 million and he got a fresh coat of paint, that all of a sudden he was going to turn into this guy that was going to lead the Saints to the playoffs. Nah. I'm not saying he was healthy yesterday, because clearly he wasn't. But what about the first 3 games? Did he look good there?
Didn't look any better. Yeah, didn't look any better. Yeah, I think Jameis probably gave him a better chance to win yesterday, but the Bucs weren't going to lose that game.
No.
Bucs this good or just pretenders? I think, what Nick said is I think it's about right. I don't think they're elite. I don't think they're part of the elite.
They could host a playoff game, though.
Host a playoff game. Jalen Hurts gets hurt. Brock Purdy goes down.
They're not.
Take your shot.
I'll just put it this way: they're not. And I know Todd Bowles said they're turning into a physical team that's hard to play against, and that's funny because I watched them get absolutely bullied the week prior. But again, it's Philly. I get it.
Yeah, they're elite.
But that's my point, though, is the 3 best teams in the NFC, and I think it's a runaway, are Philly, San Francisco, and Dallas. I think those are the 3 best teams. And all 3 of those teams have really, really good offensive lines. And all 3 of those teams have really, really good defensive lines, right?
Shocking development.
Shocking. That's how it works in this league. The Bucs,
Yep.
I just told you, they really can't get home that much on a four-man rush. And then on the offensive line, you have one stalwart that you know you can count on. Geddeke's coming along, and then everything in the middle right now is kind of a crapshoot, play by play. So they're not physical enough, in my opinion, in the trenches yet to compete with those teams. But after that, I think they can hang with any other team in the NFC.
I agree. But Kenton Cansey back will make your defensive line a hell of a lot better. Hell of a lot better. So I'll be interested to see that. All right, let's listen into Baker Mayfield, the heart and soul of this Buccaneers football team. Everybody's brought in. So let's listen to Baker Bake. Nice shirt, bro. What's that hat he got on?
How were you able to get out of that, and how did you tough it out?
Bucky's?
It's pretty scary, to be honest with you. Just getting pinned down, just those scary moments, and then obviously a late hit coming on top of that. So luckily it wasn't worse than it was, so thank God for that. But Cade presented a good little check down right there in front of me, and he was able to make a play after that.
You were able to hit Mike first pass play of the game on an 18-yard completion. I know you talked earlier in the week about wanting to be more aggressive. Was that the idea to attack earlier on downs?
Yeah, I mean, just taking advantage of our one-on-ones. Just trusting our guys. I think you saw that throughout the game, and and obviously unfortunate to lose Mike during the game, but our young guys are playing well. I think you saw that firsthand. Chris stepped up in a big way. Still need to get him a touchdown. Underthrew him right before the half. Just a bad throw in the interception, and then on that late fade ball right before we scored a DT. Just trying to get him in the end zone, but everybody was playing well.
Hey, Baker, what do you attribute to the fact, you've had issues with turnovers, but you've been fantastic this year. What has changed for you, and you play with obviously more confidence?
It was a great team. Everybody's on the same page, and just everybody's doing their job. It comes down to little details when you're playing against a good team like that. And so, obviously would like to have that one throwback today, but it's a physical error. That wasn't anything mental. That was just a bad throw. So, we can correct those.
What does this do for your confidence, for the team's frame of mind to be able to go into the bye week, an early bye, 3-1?
It's good for us. I mean, obviously early bye is, it's going to be a grind down the stretch for us, but looking at how we're at injury-wise, it's coming at a good time. And just momentum-wise, having a good division win against a very physical opponent, this couldn't have come at a better time for us.
How are you guys able to sort of troubleshoot today and adapt when, whether it's an injury or the running game comes and goes, and you have to find ways to get the ball downfield?
It comes down to everybody paying attention during meetings, practice, next man up mentality, and just everybody being on the same page when it comes down, like I mentioned about the turnovers. It's everybody's on the same page no matter who's in there. You got to know your job and do it at a high level, and our young guys did that at the same time today as our veterans.
It seemed like you had that 83-yard drive or whatever it was, a lot of plays. You had shovel passes and end arounds. Did it feel like you got in the low zone there with Dave?
Yeah, no, definitely. We were finally able to get into a groove. It's just a matter of us getting that that first drive going. Obviously, the first one I think was a 6-play drive, but we hurt ourselves a little bit. But yeah, we finally were able to get into a rhythm, and then that's when we can dial it up, and the guys are on the same page. So you see all the different unique plays, but we practice those, and so we just have to be able to do the simple little things right early on to get into that rhythm.
It seemed like you used your legs more today, maybe by you had to, but just what smart scrambles there.
Yeah, there was a couple there. I mean, early on in the game, Thad Lewis pointed out that they're not accounting for me, and then just that last third down right before we hit Chase hit the long field goal. Dave's telling me, we just need 5 yards right here. So we were looking for obviously to convert the first down, but just getting into field goal range and letting Chase. I mean, he's consistent for us, so getting him into range.
Do you take it personally if they don't account for you?
No, it's just. I mean, I don't take it personally. I'm not the athlete that our skill guys are. I know better than that.
What do you think?
I don't think too many people outside of your building would have thought you'd be in first place after 4 games. What does it say about where you guys are and how confident are you about?
It shows just the. I guess the accountability within our building, knowing to do your job, not letting any outside noise affect us. And so right now the narrative is going to flip, and we have to even, keep that mindset even more so. You can't change whether people are patting you on the back or talking trash about you. But we've known all along what we have in this building. We've been saying it since the off season, and we just got to keep getting better and better. That was the first complimentary football game we've had, and it was a good one.
You've been singing Mike's praises since you got here, but to be able to get a win in such a hostile environment, a divisional win. To do it when you don't even have him for a full 2 quarters, just what does that say about this team?
We're never out of the fight. I think we have a team of very, very strong-minded men, and just staff in general. They're going to put people in position to win and make plays. And I just can't say enough about our defense at the same time. 9 points against that offense as well. That's incredible. And they had Alvin back as well. So kudos to our guys on the defensive side of the ball, and we just played well as a unit.
Saints defense hasn't allowed many points at all last dozen games. What does that do for y'all's confidence offensively?
Today shows us if we do the little things right, what we're capable of doing. I mentioned it after the Eagles game. It's a very good defense as well, and we missed it on that one. Didn't do the little things right. A good defense is going to take advantage of it, but today it was a different story.
When we talked to you this week, you had talked about witnessing the Bucs Saints rivalry from afar. What was it like for you today, being in the thick of it?
Obviously, not having Mike there, I think it was a little bit less of the drama, but there was still a trash talk going back and forth. You love it. It's a passionate rivalry, whether they want to say it or not, but it's a physical game when we play New Orleans.
How much was coming from you?
I plead the fifth.
One more? Okay, good. Antoine's coming in too right now.
Thanks.
All right, Antoine Winfield, yeah. I plead the fifth. Yeah, I think we'll probably hear some mic'd up Baker coming up this week.
In the current episode or whatever they do there.
Yeah, I think we might hear a couple of shots here and there. I love it. After that cheap shot that Shepard took on him, I bet there was a couple of things exchanged. There's a lot of guys on the sideline were heated. And they I thought maybe something was going to happen right there, but cooler heads prevailed.
I didn't see anything really like on the field like how
No.
we've seen the last few matchups. The only thing I saw was there was a Saints player who kind of was on the field near the sideline after a play, and he kind of looked at Jason Licht and said something. And Jason Licht, you can read his lips. He was like, "F you." Said it right to him. It's a video on Twitter I saw this morning, but outside of that, I don't think I saw anything. I love it though.
I love it. All right, so we'll take a little break. When we come back, we're going to get into the rest of the NFL. A rookie quarterback who is absolutely tearing up this league, and we'll talk about him. Yes, this will be the Taylor Swift portion of the show, folks. If you watched the carnival that was the Jets Chiefs last night, we got to talk a little bit about this. It's too funny. This is America, baby. This is America. All that and more coming up. We're at the patio tonight, 5 to 7, so don't forget to come on down and say hello. Have a few beers with us, a couple White Claws, $4 White Claw seltzers, $4 White Claw vodka drinks, $1 off beer and wine, always the best happy hour in town. The prices start low and they get lower. It's the patio, casual atmosphere, under the stars, under the palm trees. Come out and join us from 5 to 7 o'clock and stay for Monday Night Football, which should be fun tonight. Quick break. Stay with us.
Sitting around the house. Well, the Gold and Diamond Source will purchase a variety of different types of coins and bullion. Their gold buying program includes sterling silver, silver, platinum, and watches. They also accept unusual pieces that other jewelry stores do not, such as gold bars and sterling silver flatware. The list of items they do accept is far more extensive than those they don't, so check it out. While you're there, you can check out the largest collection of any family-owned jewelry store in the country, especially with summer coming to an end. The holidays are right around the corner. Never too early to start your holiday shopping, especially if you're planning on getting engaged or have any birthdays or anniversaries coming up. Come on in and find out what buying jewelry should be like with an expert staff of gold and diamond jewelry enthusiasts. And the best part, they treat you like family. And if you're worrying about price, don't. The Gold and Diamond Source has something for everyone's budget. They even have a layaway. If you stop in and get your favorite piece now, you can have it paid off by Christmas. Plus, you can even finance your purchase with 0% interest for up to 5 years, and you can get a $5,000 diamond for only $83 a month. It's the greatest folks in the world, Julie and Steve Weintraub, the Gold and Diamond Source, 3800 Olmerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com.
JP here for my good friends at Italiano Insurance, and they did it again. Once again, Italiano Insurance stepping up with the best customer service. I was in a bind. My old insurance company, my auto insurance, jacked up my rates, so I called Charity at Italiano Insurance, and she stayed till 9:30 at night until she got my insurance done. And guess what? She searched all these companies for me. I didn't do the work. She did. saved me $1,000 on my annual premium. $1,000, folks. That's real money. And that's what you get at Italiano Insurance. Great customer service. And here's another note for you, by the way, with hurricane season up. 40% of people in Florida are underinsured. That means if you have something happen during a hurricane and you need replacement costs, you're going to get 40% less than you deserve. Can't let that happen. Call the folks at Italiano Insurance and get them to help you out in both those regards. They will save you money and keep you insured properly. That's 813-877-7799. Great folks in the community, been doing it for over 60 years. Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799.
All right. Well, Fitz the mortgage guy did it again. A listener heard his ad, was going to another big bank, but called Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services of Tampa, and Fitz saved him $618 on his monthly payment. Are you kidding me? Folks, that's big money. Rates are going up, they're going down, they're going all over the place. Scott will shop your loan and save you lender fees and get the best rates. Email him, scott@amstampa.com, or call 813-294-7595. That's Fitz the mortgage guy. Lots of stuff going on right now, and these rates are going all over the place. You need somebody knowledgeable in the market that will work hard for you and get you the best deal. That's my man, Scott. He's done 3 loans for me, done thousands of loans for local folks here, works with a lot of the coaches and players in the area. He's the guy. 813-294-7595, or go to scott@amstampa.com.
Let's go. Right now, back to the show with JP.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show on this Victory Monday as the Bucs go to 3-1, take over the commanding lead in the NFC South. What was that number, Nick? Nick Geddes on 3 Sports joining me. 68%?
64%.
That start 3-1 go on to the postseason.
3-1, right.
I'll take that. All right, let's roll around the league and talk a little bit about some of the other games. Did you watch the Taylor Swift Bowl last night?
Yeah, when I got home, I tuned in, and I saw the Isaiah Pacheco scores like a 40, 50-yard touchdown run, and they show like a second or two of him celebrating, and then bam, pan to Taylor Swift. And I'm like, what in the hell does she have to do with Isaiah Pacheco in that moment that I have to show her reaction?
No, but you have to show the whole box. You got Brittany Mahomes was in there, Sophie Tucker, all these people. I have no idea.
Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds was in there with a bad dye job. Wolverine was in there. Hugh Jackman was there. None of which I give a crap about. But
it feels like I'm not one of those like super anti like everything that's going on with Taylor Swift. Like I get it. I mean, listen, I write for On3. When you write a Taylor Swift story for On3, I'm telling you, the numbers are crazy. Like I get it. Okay, my wife, who hates football, is sitting there waiting to see Taylor Swift pop up on the screen, and
same.
Ashley
and I watched together.
I get it. My gripe with the whole thing last night is I felt like the refs were caught up in it too. Like this is the NFL's team now, and like
that holding call on Sauce Gardner. Was it 2020 game at that time, or maybe
23-20.
23-20, and the Jets are getting ready to get the ball back, and Zach Wilson outplayed Patrick Mahomes.
He did. Nobody wants to talk about it, but he did.
Yeah, he had 245 yards last night, a couple of touchdowns. He was slinging it, and Mahomes was not great except for the last drive. He made a couple of plays with his feet. And by the way, this dude in the last 2 years has made more plays with his feet than his arm. If we're being honest. The biggest plays that he's made in the last season and a half or 2 seasons has been with his legs, even with a freaking broken ankle last year for the most part. He's incredible. He's a great runner. Why teams continue to let him run, I don't get it.
Did you see the hold on that play?
Oh my God!
In the game on Jermaine Johnson? He couldn't go this way. He couldn't go this way. He couldn't go that way. And we're just standing there letting this guy get all that and letting Mahomes run 30 yards down the field.
Yeah.
I mean, where's the call?
I think for the most part, I didn't see the beginning of the game, but I saw, most of the second through the end of the game. And there weren't a whole lot of Taylor Swift cutaways. I think they got rid of it, most of it in the early part of the game.
Well, Kelsey was quiet too.
Yeah, exactly. Kelsey didn't get a catch till the third quarter, right?
He had 3 catches, 37, I think, in the first quarter, and then he didn't get a catch until the fourth quarter.
Right. After that, it was nothing. So, but the Chiefs get the win. The Jets, I thought Zach was tremendous, and maybe, as Chris Collinsworth said, he's finally starting to understand this new offense that was made for Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
And that Jets defense is good, so who knows?
And the players looked like they were behind him yesterday. I heard after the game, Lazard said he stood up in front of everybody and tried to take blame for that loss because of the fumble that
was a bad fumble
that he had. But it looked like they have their back finally. And Rodgers was there, and give Aaron Rodgers credit. He spoke to the team and said, "Stop pointing fingers around. You guys are a team." So I think I feel better, even though the Jets lost. I think I feel better about them now, though.
Yeah, I would agree, 100%. Jacksonville beats the Falcons over in London, 23-7. Bijan Robinson, by the way, 137 total yards, 105 yards on just 14 carries. That dude is a truck, and the Bucs are going to have their hands full with him.
He's the best running back in football already.
I think so. Okay, thank God he's on my fantasy team. Desmond Ridder, quarterback for the Falcons, who, by the way, passed on C.J. Stroud because they have a quarterback.
Oh, they passed on Lamar Jackson, too. They could have traded for Lamar, and they said, no, we're good.
Yeah, maybe not so much. So they win 27-3. Trevor Lawrence was okay. Josh Allen, somebody the Bucs probably should have drafted, four sacks in that game with Desmond Ridder. So the Jacksonville Jags moved to 2-2?
2-2,
yeah. All right, Baltimore smoked Cleveland. Deshaun Watson was a last-minute scratch in this one, so Dorian Thompson-Robinson, the UCLA quarterback, was just awful. Threw 3 interceptions. The Ravens, they treat rookie quarterbacks like they should be treated. John Harbaugh absolutely destroys them. Their offense got going a little bit, too, against a really good Cleveland defense. So
without Odell and Rashad Bateman in the lineup, by the way.
Yeah.
But I think it's more because Cleveland never had I think Cleveland's defense got gassed.
Yeah, they did.
Because Cleveland's defense was really, really good through 3 weeks.
And what's his I think he got hurt. I'm trying to think. Their big defensive player for Cleveland. Brain fart.
Miles Garrett?
Miles Garrett. Did he get hurt in that game? I think he did.
I didn't see that he got hurt.
I think he may have, but I'm not sure how serious that is. Denver comes back to beat Chicago 31-28. The Bears. What are you doing?
Oh my gosh. What do you say about
Justin Fields starts the game completing 16 straight passes, threw for 231 yards and 3 touchdowns, and a 28-7 lead in the third quarter.
And then he turned back into Justin Fields.
Wow.
Hey, at least the Broncos aren't much better, by the way. Clearly, their defense stinks. But hey, Sean Payton's fixed Russell Wilson. He looks like Russell Wilson again this year.
Yeah, Russell Wilson's playing pretty good. People, you look inside the numbers. He's doing all right. That's not their problem.
They can't stop anybody, though.
Yeah. Derrick Henry had a big day. Threw for a touchdown. Ran wild. And they beat Cincinnati 27-3. The Titans are not bad, but boy, the freaking Bengals are awful. Joe Burrow is terrible. He can't play. He's clearly on one leg.
Right.
Wow.
I didn't see that coming, though. 27-3 against Tennessee. I know Tennessee's a physical team. Don't get me wrong. But given how great they played against the Rams, that defense the other night, they just looked flat from the beginning. Totally. And Jamar Chase is getting really talky now in press conferences. 1-3, that's hard to come back from in that division especially.
The Rams beat the Colts 29-23 in overtime. LA didn't punt for the first time until there was just 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Should have scored more points. Puka caught 9 for 163. That dude, where did he come from?
He has saved my fantasy team this year. Puka Nacua, man.
I was looking this up the other day. Why wasn't he drafted higher? He ran like a 4.67 at the combine.
Yeah, and he didn't really. If you look at his numbers at BYU.
Not special.
Very, very pedestrian, which, by the way, we look back on that BYU team. Zach Wilson, who was really good while he was there, Tyler Algier, and Puka Nacua. They were all on that offense for BYU in 2021. So, at least all starting in the NFL. And also, too, the Colts are really scrappy as well. They were down 20-0, and Anthony Richardson, flipped a switch. He was throwing some laser beams in that second half and got him into overtime. And then, the NFL overtime rules, they never got the ball, right?
Yeah.
I thought Anthony Richardson, I think he's honestly looked really good through 3 games.
Yeah, not terrible. But he's not CJ Stroud.
Yeah.
Oh my God. CJ Stroud God, thank God the Panthers didn't draft him. And I when they took Bryce Young, I was like, thank God. Thank God. I didn't know C.J. Stroud would be this good, but I knew he'd be better than Bryce Young. I mean, come on.
This isn't like he's doing historic things. First rookie since 1970, the 1970 merger, 250 yards, 2 passing touchdowns, and 0 picks in 3 consecutive games. Again, first rookie since 1970 to do that.
And he's playing for Houston. It's not like he went to some great football team. You know, I don't see, you know, he doesn't have a lot of all-pro weapons out there right now.
How it's this instant for him? He's playing like a top 10 quarterback already.
Oh my God, top 5 quarterback.
Top 5 quarterback, arguably.
Yeah, and he has shattered the record for 0 interceptions in his first 150 passes.
Right.
Brady had the record like at 100, and a couple of other guys broke it, like some of the best in the game. But he destroyed that record
yesterday. And again, we have this discussion when we talk about quarterbacks and excuses. He had all 5 of his starting O-linemen out against the best pass rushing team in the entire league entering yesterday, Pittsburgh. All 5 of his offensive linemen, Laramie Tunsil, everybody was out against Pittsburgh, TJ Watt, Alex Highsmith, and he goes up there and does that against Mike Tomlin.
Wow. Yeah, the Steelers are an enigma. I don't know what the hell is going on.
Pickett's got a knee injury. It didn't look good. So keep an eye on that.
Yeah, that's wow. 30-6, Houston over
ass whooping
the Steelers. Minnesota beats Carolina 21-13, despite Sam Franklin getting a 99-yard pick 6 off Kirk Cousins. By the way, that was a clinic in how to run over a quarterback. In case Devin White needs to look at that tape. Wait for your blockers if you can't run through somebody, and then let them obliterate the quarterback if you walk into the end zone. Shut up. I'm hurt. If you're hurt, get off the field.
I'm gonna be
honest.
That
hurt. If you're that hurt,
I'm gonna be honest though. I didn't watch a single minute of this game.
The Vikings.
I had no interest.
I just saw the highlights. I mean,
it flashed on Red Zone a few times, and I was like,
Yeah, but the Vikings come back, and it's not often you come back from a pick 6 like that, but they come back and beat Carolina, who's not good. This just in.
With Bryce Young, they're so much worse.
Yeah, exactly. That's the other part. And here was my special of the week. I went heavy on the Bills, -2.5. Buffalo 48, the magnificent Miami Dolphins 20. I told you. Did I not tell you last week? That's a flash in the pan. They're a flash in the pan. Their defense is still dog crap, talking about the Dolphins. And that stuff it's the NFL. It's a week-to-week league. Just because you score 70 one week doesn't mean you're going to score 70 the next or even 35. So welcome back to the NFL. Tua, I still don't think he's going to finish the season. But the big story with the Bills now is their defense is back, and Josh Allen's not turning the ball over anymore.
And Von Miller's not even out there yet.
That's right.
And Jordan Poyer was out yesterday. Everybody was like, oh, the Dolphins are going to feast. They held Tyreek Hill to like 3 catches for like 50 yards or something like that. He didn't do anything. I mean, this Devin what are we calling him now? H-Han. I think he wanted it to be H-Han or I don't know. Whatever. He's got 6 touchdowns in 2 games, by the way. Just pointing that out. He could still do his thing, but no, I had the Bills too because I just trusted their defense more. It's that simple. Did I have them scoring 48? No. But Josh Allen played a very controlled football game yesterday.
Yeah,
they have a running game now.
That early season loss to the Jets may have been a blessing in disguise because it woke him up from being so reckless. The Commanders come back from getting smoked the week before and almost beat Philadelphia 34-31 in overtime. The Eagles win it. Sam Howell, who I didn't, I benched him for Joe Burrow because I thought, wow, 4 picks last week. Now you're going up against the Eagles defense. I'm not starting you in fantasy. 290 yards, touchdown to Johan Dotson. No time on the clock to force the OT, and then the Eagles win it in overtime. A.J. Brown had 299 receiving yards. Wow. Since that, or has in the last 2 weeks, since that discussion with Jalen Hurts on the sideline. Not too bad. The Eagles are 4-0, and they haven't even played their best football yet.
Yep.
And this one was a stunner. Dallas, 38-3 over New England. What do we say about Bill Belichick right now?
Listen, I'm not going to be the one to tell Bill Belichick when it's time to leave, but
it's time to leave.
It's just archaic. It just is.
Tom Brady ain't walking through that door.
Well, here's my thing. Like, why are they making things so difficult for themselves?
Yeah.
I mean, you have a quarterback who obviously is limited athletically. He ain't moving, and he's limited as a talent in the first place. And then at the receiver position, I mean, they brought in Juju Smith-Schuster, said goodbye to Jacoby Myers. Jacoby Myers is putting up big numbers in Las Vegas. Juju's like 5th on their depth chart, and now they're paying him, 10 or 11 million per for the next 3 years. Awful contract. And we're throwing to guys like Kendrick Bourne and Demario Douglas. And why are we making it harder on ourselves? Like, they had how many chances to go get actual talent on that offense?
He won't do it.
And then in the draft,
matter.
it's like, it's in
Doesn't
the draft,
matter.
we're drafting punters and kickers and centers and guards. It's like, we're in 2023, Bill. And by the way, Mac Jones, you want to know the last quarterbacks that he's beaten since the start of last year? This is it. This is the list. Zach Wilson, Mitch Trubisky, Jacoby Brissett, Sam Ehlinger, Colt McCoy, Teddy Bridgewater. Those are the only quarterbacks Mac Jones has beaten since 2022 began.
Yeah.
Not going to get it done.
Yeah, I think the game has passed him by, to be quite honest. And it's going to be a shame if he gets the wins record, which he will eventually get. Well, I don't know. I mean, this team, who are they beating? That defense that we thought was pretty good.
I mean, they did so well against Miami. Like, you thought they were going to be, and they did well against Philly. Like, I just don't get it. Like, they got manhandled by Dallas yesterday. I mean, Dak was really good, but even then, like, I thought he had an easy day of work because they were never going to score on Dallas's defense.
Mm-hmm. The Chargers beat the Raiders 24-17. I think the Chargers are still very much underperforming, but they get the W there. And I don't know, Khalil Mack, I still can't believe he got traded. Khalil Mack, just 6 sacks on the day, just manhandling people. What a talent.
Khalil Mack had 6 sacks?
6 sacks.
He had 6 sacks yesterday.
In the game.
Khalil
They
Mack.
forced 3 turnovers. The Raiders were just 1 for 11 on 3rd down.
Holy man. How did I miss that?
Yeah.
6 sacks for Khalil Mack. By the way, everybody was saying Khalil Mack was washed. Like, Khalil Mack's numbers the last 2 years have been horrendous. Like, especially his pressure rates. He's been like a passenger all year, and he had 6 sacks?
6 sacks. Aiden O'Connell started for the Raiders.
Wow.
Yeah. And 49ers 35-16 over Arizona. The Cardinals coming back to earth a little bit. But they had it within 1 score heading into the 4th quarter. It was 21-16. Josh Dobbs has been really, really good.
They're battling.
He can't get a jersey made by the Cardinals, but how about that? If you haven't seen that, he put up a video. He went to the team store to get a jersey for a family member, I think. This is so Arizona Cardinals, by the way. This is so Arizona Cardinals. Worst run for franchise in the NFL. And he starting quarterback goes in there to get one made, and they didn't even have it available as something they could select on the computer to get his number and his name. He's your starting quarterback. Talk about an organization that's tanking. Oh my God! Yeah. Even the marketing people are tanking. And there's.
And by the way, speaking of this game, not that this guy needs any more love because we all know the talent, but Christian McCaffrey, he scored in every game, I think, since he's been in San Francisco. I don't think they've lost a regular season game since he's been there either.
Really?
It's insane.
Wow.
And he's 4 touchdowns yesterday. 4 touchdowns. I mean, if you're playing this guy in fantasy, it doesn't matter what the rest of that team does.
You got no shot.
You just got no shot against this
no
guy.
shot.
7 touchdowns and 4 yesterday. Insane. San Francisco is still, to me, the class of the entire league.
Yeah. Good thing the Panthers got rid of him.
Who? The Panthers getting rid of McCaffrey?
Yeah.
I'm just happy the Bucs don't have to play the guy 2 times a year.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, at least he went to a team that can appreciate his talent and use it. All right, so that's the NFL in a whip around. Interesting day in the league, and the Bucs are 3-1 and headed to a bye. Hard to be in better position in the first quarter of the season. All right, let's do one more break. We'll come back and we'll talk some college football. FSU did not play this weekend, so I wasn't wrapped up in any games where my heart was beating out of my chest, but the Gators sure did, and it was not pretty. Gator fans, as happy as they were after Tennessee, are pissed off about Sun Belt Billy. So we'll do that when we come back. Quick break. We'll be at the the patio tonight from 5 to 7 o'clock. Come down and join us for our live remote, $4 White Claw seltzers and White Claw vodkas and all kinds of good stuff. We got some T-shirts for you. Come say hello and talk some ball with us, 5 to 7 at the patio. Back in 3.
Do you have any old coins sitting around the house? Well, the Golden Diamond Source will purchase a variety of different types of coins and bullion. Their gold buying program includes sterling silver, silver, platinum, and watches. They also accept unusual pieces that other jewelry stores do not, such as gold bars and sterling silver flatware. The list of items they do accept is far more extensive than those they don't, so check it out. While you're there, you can check out the largest collection of any family-owned jewelry store in the country, especially with summer coming to an end. The holidays are right around the corner. Never too early to start your holiday shopping, especially if you're planning on getting engaged or have any birthdays or anniversaries coming up. Come on in and find out what buying jewelry should be like with an expert staff of gold and diamond jewelry enthusiasts. And the best part, they treat you like family. And if you're worrying about price, don't. The Golden Diamond Source has something for everyone's budget. They even have a layaway. If you stop in and get your favorite piece now, you can have it paid off by Christmas. Plus, you can even finance your purchase with 0% interest for up to 5 years, and you can get a $5,000 diamond for only $83 a month. It's the greatest folks in the world, Julie and Steve Weintraub, the Golden Diamond Source, 3800 Olmerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com. Hey guys, are you experiencing those feelings of getting older, lower sex drive, fatigue, hot flashes, moodiness, or you just don't feel like you had the vitality you once had? It's a chronic problem here in the United States. You're not just getting old, it's likely low testosterone. Studies over the last 20 years show a shocking decline in younger males aged 16 to 39. Older men have seen a sharp decline as well, so do something about it. Go see my friend Christopher Lugo at Bay Area Modern Medicine. Look, testosterone replacement is not a frivolous treatment. It takes a professional, targeted approach that focuses on total body wellness, vitality, and emotional stability, not a one-size-fits-all approach like many clinics use. They will monitor your blood work and adjust your treatment as needed for optimal results. Folks, I've been on testosterone therapy for over 6 years, and it is a life changer. You will feel and look better than you did 10 years ago. Give them a call at 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Tell them JP sent you for priority scheduling. That's 844-977-3477 or BAMMC.com. JP here for the Jeeves Law Group, Jeeves. Call for a free case evaluation, 888-9-JEEVES. That's 888-9-JEEVES. We're local, we're trusted. The law firm brings over 80 years of combined legal experience focusing on clients in Tampa Bay, the state of Florida, and national class action cases. If you're injured, get that free case evaluation, no cost to you. The Jeeves Law Group's focus is on auto, truck, and motorcycle accidents, as well as class action and consumer protection law. Scott Jeeves is a board-certified civil trial lawyer and a certified circuit court mediator practicing in the Tampa Bay area for over 30 years. You hear him on the show all the time. Great guy, big Gator fan, and great for the community. The Jeeves Law Group is a highly skilled team with years of experience that will apply their skills, expertise, and knowledge to assist individuals who have been in an accident with compensation for damages, lost wages, medical expenses, pain and suffering, and property damage. Get that free case evaluation, 888-9-JEEVES. That's 888-9-JEEVES.
Coming back at you. Now, more with JP on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show. We'll be live out at the patio tonight, so come on down to join us from 5 to 7, myself and Peter Blake. All right, college football this past weekend, it was not pretty for your Florida Gators as they took their road warrior mentality on the road to Kentucky and were smoked in just about every phase of the game. 33-14 was the final. Vanderbilt transfer Ray Davis ran for 280 yards and 4 touchdowns as Kentucky moves to 5-0, 2-0 in the SEC. This is the 5th time in program history they've been 5-0. What was, I think, most disturbing to a lot of Gator fans was how embarrassed the Gators were on both sides of the football in the trenches. I mean, when Kentucky's physically beating you up in the trenches, that's not good. Kentucky collected 329 rushing yards, 398 total yards against the Gators, who came in giving up 13 points per game. Like, what the hell happened to the Gator defense here?
It was a no-show, to put it, pretty simple. It was a no-show. But Florida's going to have moments like this throughout this year. This is a building year for Billy Napier. Beating Tennessee at home, you've already exceeded. I mean, you entered this game ranked, even though I don't think they should have been ranked to begin with, because you win a rivalry game, a place that Tennessee hasn't won in 21 years or whatever. Those things happen. I didn't think Florida really was that great of a football team just because they beat Tennessee. And Kentucky, clearly, 5-0. Good football team at home, all that kind of stuff. I'm not saying I expected a blowout, but I didn't pick Florida to win this game. I don't think they're not there yet to just put away teams like this. They're just not.
Yeah, they're not. But a lot of teams struggled over the weekend, and I come out of this asking myself, who's number one? Who's the best team in the league, in the nation? I mean, Georgia struggled mightily against an Auburn team that people don't think it's all that good.
A&M did damage to them last week.
Yeah, I mean, how good? Georgia wins at 27-20 thanks to Brock Bowers, who's
fantastic,
freaking monster. I don't know, unless you need a quarterback, and probably the team that drafts first will. I don't know how you don't draft Brock Bowers, number one overall. That dude, he's mini Gronk. He ain't even mini. He's Gronk.
I would tell you,
game changer.
You talked about the number one team. Like, Georgia keeps getting the benefit of the doubt, and I understand. They won 2 championships in a row. Why do you, until they lose? I guess you want to keep them there. I mean, I said beginning of the year I thought Michigan was going to win the national title. I think Michigan is playing really good football right now. So, I'm going to put Michigan at 1, personally.
Michigan,
I thought Washington was right there, but then Washington this week against Arizona, I mean, they're in a dogfight with Arizona. I mean, there's like 10 teams that if you were to rank the top 10, you could rank it any way, and I'd be like, oh, yeah, I could see that. That's the good thing this year. There's like 10 teams that I think have a shot at winning the national title. And we can't overreact, I guess, whenever one of them's in a dogfight with some of these other teams, because that's happening to almost all these teams right now.
Here's some interesting numbers on Georgia. Okay, and these are their ranks. The last 2 years they've won the national championship and where they are now. Points per drive, they were 7th, 4th last year. They're 20th this year. Explosive play rate, they were 10th and 8th previous 2 years. They're 17th. Points allowed per drive, 1st, 5th, now 10th. Not bad, but not where they were. Defensive success rate, 1st, 5th, 29th. Defensive EPA per snap, 1st, 5th, 25th. That's dramatic. That's a dramatic drop off for Georgia. They've been so dominant, but they're not. Doesn't mean they can't win the national championship. It's just that parity is alive and well in college football.
But here's the thing, JP. Their schedule. Who's going to beat them?
Yeah, not the Gators.
I mean, maybe Ole Miss can beat them, but they got to go in Georgia and beat them.
Kentucky.
I mean,
where's that game? Is that game in Kentucky?
Let me see. I just had it here. 1 second. That game is in Georgia. Yeah, they get Kentucky at home, they get Missouri at home, and then they get Ole Miss at home. So their 3 toughest games, and they got to play Tennessee on the road, but I don't think Tennessee has a shot.
No, Tennessee's not good.
Missouri, Kentucky, and Ole Miss, they're all at home.
Oh, they'll have to play the SEC championship game. So.
Yeah, which is probably going to be Alabama at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, LSU. Wow. LSU, disappointing.
That did not help Florida State whatsoever.
No, Florida State did not get any help this week with the teams on their schedule. I mean, Florida losing. I mean, obviously, Florida's you got to beat them.
And it would have been nice for Duke to pull that out against
Notre
Dame.
Yep. But Riley Leonard, I don't know if we've heard an update on him, but that looked bad.
Right.
That looked like a broken leg to me.
Right.
At the end of the game. So I don't know. Kentucky is interesting. In Texas, they jumped to number 3 in the CBS Sports rankings. But it's wide open. It's wide open. I think that game with Kansas was tight until they pulled away late.
Yeah, but Daniels was out. Had back spasms in the warm up. and couldn't play. I think the game was going to be a lot closer if Daniels plays.
I think you're right.
So Texas got a break there.
So yeah, wide open, absolutely wide open
Well,
college football season. There's so many big games coming up.
Let me tell you about a team. I got to get to my story here real quick.
Okay, yeah,
Wrap
yeah,
it
yeah.
up. I'll tell you about a team that's not in contention, and that's my UCF Knights. I made the way up to Orlando this weekend to go see the first Big 12 home game, facing Baylor, 3:30, all that kind of stuff, right? And I don't know if you saw anything from that game. UCF was leading 35-7 in the third quarter
Mm-hmm.
and lost 36-35.
No way.
29 unanswered points from
What the
Baylor.
hell happened?
An implosion. Like Timmy McClain became the worst quarterback I've ever seen after he was playing really good. Gus Malzahn, horrible management of the game, couldn't stop anybody. And yeah, Baylor, 29 unanswered points. And I had to sit in the stadium to watch that. And the whole student section, by the way, which was full at the beginning of the game, they all left at half. And it was a really bad look. But yes. So I had to sit through that in Orlando and then drive all the way home at night, and I was miserable.
Oh.
Absolutely miserable.
That's a tough drive.
Tough.
Not easy to get out of the bounce house either, is it?
No.
No. Sorry to hear that, my friend. Well, better days ahead. But this, welcome to real conference football.
Yeah, you can't take your foot off the pedal against Baylor. You do that against Tulsa, but not Baylor.
Yep, can't do it. Every week's a dogfight. All right, good stuff. Thank you, Nick. Appreciate that. Good to hear from our good friend Paul Stewart. Come on out and join us tonight. We'll be at the patio from 5 to 7 o'clock. Peter Blake will join me, and we'll swill down some White Claw seltzers, $4 vodka drinks, $1 off beer and wine, and their great happy hour every day from 3 to 7:30. It's the coolest place to hang out, and it's going to be a beautiful night. The humidity is down. Going to be a nice place to watch the Giants and Seattle tonight. Who you betting on? I'll take the Giants in this one. I think
I'll take Seattle.
Home
I'll
dog
take Seattle.
All right, we'll see you tomorrow, folks. Same time, same place. See you then.